South Korea, and this terrible tragedy happened.
And for more on this story, I'm joined by Mark Martin, an aviation expert from Martin Consulting. Mark, first, if you could just clear up something for us. So why was there this landing system at the end of the runway, which would put any aircraft at risk, that overshot?
Good morning, Steve. Happy holidays and stay safe, fly safe, everybody. Steve, these airfields are pretty old airfields. They were built during, when the U.S. occupied Korea, and a lot of the legacy that the U.S. left behind in Korea just continued. Now, one of the reasons why this ILS system was right at the end of the runway is because it was designed to capture something which is called a back beam. So you could use it from both sides of the runway. And predominantly, if you got an ILS system at the end of the runway, it's obviously for military and civilian aircraft. So I think clearly what happened here is that this guy, in the desperate situation that he was, made a landing, made an emergency landing, brought the aircraft down, no matter how incapacitated it was, and he ran out of runway. And that's the sad part. I mean, if he had 1,000-foot more runway, he would have made it, and he would have saved everybody on board. And I think this is a wake-up call for us to really look at how airports are designed. Most parts of Asia, Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia have got far more modern airports than Korea, and drastic steps need to be taken. But again, I'm going to express a concern here. Let's not speculate. We need to investigate why this aircraft came down in an emergency. We got to understand what led to it being incapacitated, whether it's an engine failure or a hydraulic failure or dual engine blowout or whatever it is. I think that process needs to start. This is possibly the worst air disaster after AirAsia 8501 and Lion Air 737 MAX crash, and we shouldn't have such incidents and such accidents, at least in Asia.
Now, a lot of those questions, Mark, will be directed at Boeing, the airline manufacturer. Another setback for them, and what will they be doing as part of this investigation?
Well, the aircraft affected is a 737 NG, which is one of the most reliable aircraft ever produced by Boeing. And this is a major worry for Boeing because they will also need to get on board with the investigation process and establish what went wrong. And I think this is going to be a global investigation. I'm not sure whether the NTSB would be involved because this is not an American registered aircraft, but certainly FAA, as well as Asian safety authorities, including EASA regional office, should get on board with this because, when you have a bird strike and whatever that's been reported so far, which I'd probably best term as speculation, you can still bring the aircraft down with hydraulics and engine power, but something obviously has gone wrong, and that has to be thoroughly investigated. We should also respect the dead, respect those who are lost. And the more we speculate, the more this is going to be painful for anybody and everybody who've lost a family member or a friend, including the crew. So the faster the investigation commences, Steve, the better for safety in aviation.
Mark, thanks very much. We'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much for your thoughts today. Mark Martin, aviation expert from Martin Consulting. Now, staying in South Korea, there are new developments.